Hello, my name is Traci Smet with Ministry Point Sports Medicine, and I'm doing a presentation review on Making a Change with Stephanie LaPlant and Lisa Fahney from Saints Help for Services for Businesses. So today our objectives are to understand what behavior change means, identify which stage of change you are in, discuss the importance of setting goals, learn about the SMART goal setting, and understand how to achieve your goals and staying on track. So I want to take you on a journey. This journey is going to take us into change. Did you ever realize that when you're forced to change, it's a lot harder than if you actually make the changes yourself? So we need to take the change exit on our own and do it independently. Behavior change takes a lot more than just knowledge and willpower. You have to want to change to make changes happen. When you learn about a new behavior, it takes time. No matter who you are, you have to practice it and you have to be persistent. And remember that only you, yourself, can make this change. So the main point we want to talk about is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is just a fancy term for the amount of confidence an individual has in their ability to carry out the desired behavior. Just remember that the behaviors must be specific. And once you accomplish a goal, you are more likely to seek more goals, continuing to move on to that healthy behavior you desire. So here's a big fancy term, trans-theoretical model of behavior change. Individuals progress through 5 different stages, and we're going to go through these stages right now and talk about the different types of change. So I'm a visual person, so these are the stages of behavioral change: pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. And here we go, we're going to talk about all these different stages now. So stage 1 is pre-contemplation in the behaviors of change. In this stage, individuals aren't even thinking about making a change. There's a lot of denial going on, which is very common, because they don't see anything that is wrong with the way they are doing things. So again, stage 1, pre-contemplation, not even thinking about making a change. The second stage is contemplation. In contemplation stage, you realize you might have a problem, but not quite ready to make that commitment. So the barriers are beginning to override the benefits, and individuals typically may not intend to take action in this stage, but are starting to begin thinking about it. In stage 3, which is preparation, this is a very key transitional stage. This is when we're halfway there to beginning to actually make changes. Some small steps towards the change may begin to be made here, but they won't officially start until we hit the action stage, which is next. So in the action stage, we're actually moving forward, we're taking control of it, and we're actually making the changes. Self-efficacy is a very key part of this stage. Now, relapse does tend to happen, and relapse is when we actually take a step backwards, but we try to come up with small goals to continue to keep that person on track in their action stage. And lastly, stage 5 is the maintenance stage. In this stage, the average person has committed to a program, they've stuck to it, and they're making the change and continuing to be successful. Now, don't be alarmed. This part of the stage tends to take about 6 months for most individuals to reach it. Now, when you look at the duration of this program, it's only 14 weeks, and you may not quite hit that maintenance stage, but as long as you're making the progress, setting small goals, and getting to the goals that you want to achieve, then you are making that progress towards the maintenance stage. So I know this slide may be a little difficult to see, but it actually takes you through a flow chart to figure out which stage you're in. So take a moment and figure out which stage you're actually in right now. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and actually talk about the processes of change. These processes listed here are different ways that people actually make change, so different types of barriers or things that are out there that can actually help us with our process. So let's go over these. Another process of change is conscience raising, so it's actually learning about it and kind of like a prevention factor. So it's getting information regarding the nature and the risk of the behavior, getting awareness and feedback, and constantly learning about the benefits of changing a behavioral problem. Another process of change is social liberation. Is there help out there? What is the chance that you're going to take those easier decisions versus those harder decisions? One of the things you can do in this type of process is actually seek social opportunities to support the change. For instance, our coaching sessions that we have on Wednesdays night, or even just the actual part of participating in the community weight race, you have a group, you have that support network that you can lean on when you need to. Emotional arousal is affected by someone we love that helps us with our change. So this can affect us positively and negatively. Some of those people are stronger than others as far as how their emotions will actually affect us. So emotional wise, controlling those emotions and recognizing when you may be in trouble of making a bad or a poor choice as far as health and wellness goes. The next process is self-reevaluation. Is the change really worth it? If I make a change, how will it be seen by others? How will I affect the pros and the cons and weighing those options as far as what you're going to do? For instance, if you go to a particular family's house and they always want to host dinner and they're making poor choices, what is the chance that you're going to stand up and say, is there a healthier option for me? Can we make something healthy? Or maybe you make that change of hosting the event next time and preparing a more healthier dinner. In the self-liberation process, you're saying to yourself, I can do it. Self-efficacy is a huge piece, again, of this entire process. So you're having that can-do attitude, you're ready to go at it, you're creating specific plans with goals, and everything is just super committed and everything is working out just great. It's that positive energy that we're looking for here. Now, do not be afraid to reward yourself when you do make those changes that you're looking for. However, the reward needs to be meaningful for you. For instance, with the community weight race, we give away a variety of prizes all the time. But if those rewards are not valuable to you, then you may not opt to do the things that you want to do. Now, one of the things you should be aware of is that the rewards should not be contrary to the change that you are making. For instance, rewarding yourself with a large, unhealthy dinner or a big scoop of ice cream may be counterproductive to the actual goals you are trying to achieve. So set up positive rewards for yourself, and things for change should come along just fine. So substituting alternative behaviors for problem areas is another part of countering. Countering is providing those alternative behaviors which are going to support those healthy behaviors overall. So I know we talked about relationships a little previous in the past presentation, but relationships are one of those things that are really going to help you or hurt you as far as your weight loss goals go. You want to make sure you're having a trusting, accepting support network for any time that you feel like you may relapse or you're having problem getting over a certain barrier. That support network can help you again, for instance, those coaching sessions that we have on Wednesdays, or again, just participating and meeting with your group and talking about things that may be a little hard for you to handle at the time. So we're going to change gears again, and we're going to talk about goals. So why should you set a goal? Goals help you maintain accountability for yourself and your team. It gives us that sense of accomplishment and pride, like we're making a difference. It's another way to track progress, for instance, those weekly weigh-ins if you notice that your weight's going up, and you can make adjustments to your program. And here's a recent study, or a recent fact I should say, 22% of the people who make a New Year's resolution give up on it in the first week. Hopefully that's not you out there, and you're actually sticking to your goals, and you're going to shoot for them. We're going to hit that weight loss goals that we are looking for. So before we can actually begin setting up our goals, we have to talk about a couple characteristics. So we're going to talk about these right now. So here's our strategies for setting our goals. We're going to create SMART goals, which we're going to talk about in a second here. I know you're real anxious. We're going to set several short-term goals, we're going to get others to support us, and we're going to make our plans and adjust them as we achieve our goals. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So specific goals are exactly what they sound like. They're structured and they're focused, they're very accurate. So for example, you're not going to say, I'm just going to exercise every day. You want to specify that by saying, I'm going to exercise, for instance, walking for 30 minutes a day. When you're creating specific goals, you want to ask yourself the 6 W's. Who, what, where, when, which, and why. The next part of SMART is measurable. You want to be able to provide that structure and motivation by establishing benchmarks for your progress. So think about how you're going to know when you actually accomplish your goals. So for instance, maybe you're measuring it by a certain pounds lost, certain of inches, or maybe an amount of exercise time per week that you are actually accumulating. Part 3 of SMART is achievable. When you identify that the goals are most important to you, goals that you are personally invested in have a greater meaning and valuable. So set those achievable goals so that you can accomplish them. You may have to work a little harder, but they are accomplishable. The R of SMART is for realistic. A realistic goal is one, again, that you are able to achieve and work towards. You have to believe that you can achieve these things. For instance, setting a goal like I want to lose 50 pounds in 2 weeks is completely unrealistic and unhealthy. So maybe setting a small goal like I would like to lose a half a pound a week will build up to those larger goals later on. And the last part of the goal is timely. This really focuses the actual attention on the goal. Make a timeline, again, making it practical and reasonable for when you would like to achieve that goal. By setting that deadline, it does push you to work a little bit harder to seek and finish that actual goal. So here are a few examples of goals utilizing the SMART guidelines. Now this first part of this piece on support is so important. Most people who sustain behavioral changes do so on their own. However, the success is mainly an individual's responsibility, but the resources can provide support. For instance, books, online support groups, our coaching sessions we have on Wednesday night is an opportunity for you to share ideas. Now, even though this competition is a group effort, individually you have to dig deep and really find what works for you and believe and actually stay on track. So I know we talked about relapse a little earlier, but again, try to stay on track. Relapse can occur because of illnesses, work, vacation, but when it happens, try to get back on that horse, ride it again, and seek those changes and stay on those goals as best as you can. This is not easy. Weight loss never is, but it just takes hard work, dedication, short-term and long-term goals, and you can get there. Here are some sources that were used in today's presentation for your review if you want. So thank you for joining me on this review of Making a Change by Stephanie LaPlant and Lisa Fahney. My name is Traci Smet and I am the coordinator for the Community Weight Race. Feel free to contact me if you have any comments or questions about today's presentation. Have a happy and healthy day.